Hello, cherished ducklings. I am Peri, Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic. I'm really happy to be here with you. And I don't know about you, it has been such a Murphy's Law day. You know Murphy's Law, which is like if you drop a piece of bread in the carpet, it lands butter side down. But it's been a great learning day. But Murphy's Law is like gravity. It's like gravity. They even keep it turned on Wednesdays. So today I was listening to a lot of self-help podcasts. Some are terrific and some are not the ones who are terrific. And I heard a lot about gratitude. I don't know about you, but whenever people tell me to feel grateful, I always feel like I'm back in convent school and one of the nuns, bless them, they were awesome. But I just felt like, I don't know, when I hear the word gratitude, I feel like I'm being scolded or judged or something. So I came up with, gratitude is the best practice you can have, aside from the practice of, sending me huge amounts of jewels. But short of that, gratitude is the key to a lot of great things. But it's a hard feeling to kind of figure out. So here's what I figured out. You know what works just as well as gratitude and gets you right into the same place? It's the same feeling? Relief. Have you ever been at the bedside of a loved one? And I hope you haven't. But you're like, oh my God, are they going to be okay? Are they going to be okay? And the doctor comes out and says, everything's fine. We got the test mixed up with like Mrs. Brown next door. Your father doesn't need a sex change operation. Anyway, but gratitude, but seriously, when the doctor comes out and gives you good news, that feeling you get, that like, oh my God, thank you. That relief feeling, that to me is gratitude. I don't know about you guys. I'd be interested to hear. And there are a couple of, there's a lot of self-help stuff that it's sort of not cliche, but we hear it so often that it just kind of bounces off our eardrums, like gefilte fish off the uvula. I'm going to ask you this week to take all of your favorite sort of self-help mantras and rephrase them as something you would actually say. Let me demonstrate. So rather than like every day in every way, I'm getting better and better, which is a perfectly good one. And by the way, was invented by Dr. Emile Coué, the father of self-help in 1919. Not that you needed to know that, but if you rephrase your affirmations as you would maybe say them if you were reassuring a friend, or it's kind of amazing. So for me, instead of like every day in every way, I'm getting better and better, because obviously I am. But what I like to say is, you know what? I'm doing better today than I was yesterday. And then I sort of stop and think about like, wow, I got out of bed. That's a good thing. Anytime you wake up, that's a good thing. But as somebody who has almost not woken up a few times, just waking up in your own bed is something to be grateful / relieved about. Waking up and not A, being surrounded by people playing harps, or B, people screaming as they're drenched in unquenchable eternal fire. That's a good start to a day. So, I would like to hear what your week has been like. And we're just going to draw a card before I take calls, because the card that I didn't draw the cards before connecting, because I really wanted to connect with all of your energies. I know everybody's like, well, she can't see me, and but the thing is, we all have a much more powerful energy than we possibly know. Every one of our good actions has a much wider ripple effect than we know. So I wanted to wait till I could connect with your collective and really beautiful energy. So the card for this week, oh no, this has never happened before. It's the card of commitments. It's the card of you're standing under a rainbow. You have your partner. It's a long-term thing. There are golden cups representing emotions that are valuable and pure. Either that or you're having an acid flashback. But the valuable and pure emotions are real. And it seems to be about a week when you're either going to be really thinking seriously, do I want to be in a relationship? Do I want to be in a relationship with this person? Do I maybe not want to stand under a rainbow with golden cups with two children frisking around? Because I'm not crazy about frisking children and I'm iffy about rainbows. But the question of commitment, and not just in relationships, because everything we do in one part of our life applies to the rest of our lives. But so it is mostly about romantic commitments, but it's asking you to think about, am I committed? Is this how I want to live the next few years with this person, with this job, with this golden retriever, or all three? But it's asking you to really look at the partnerships and the choices you're making in your life. So that's what I have to tell you, and we will take questions. And so who have we got today? Oh, cool. Hey, welcome. Where in Oz are you? Can you hear me, honey? Where in Australia? Hi, doll. How are you?
Cairns.
No problem. Oh, great. Used to live there. Great place. So that's interesting. You know, you feel unusually confident. I'm sort of surprised to hear, I'm glad to hear your voice. I feel like you're checking in to see if a recent stroke of good luck or possible dream come true that seems like it might be in the horizon is actually real. Because your energy is really good. And you sound to me like the only thing that's getting between you and what you want might be like a little self-doubt, which would make you a human being. Did you have a specific question today, doll?
Well, I'm wanting to move forward, and get out, put myself back out there and get a job and do things for myself and for my kids, because I'm a single mum. But it's hard because I don't have support.
What day is your birthday?
Watching the kids, so I can move around fairly.
Do you have two kids with you and possibly another kid with somebody else? Staying with somebody else? Or do you have all your kids with you?
I've got all my babies with me.
Oh, that's great. I'm very happy. And so the self-doubt we were just mentioning, that feels like, I feel like there's a big future opening up for you. And, that's a sincere, that's not like I'm trying to borrow money or anything. That's a sincere feeling. And the self-doubt, which was the first thing I picked up, is actually not a real part of who you are. I think you know how confident you are. I think you know how strong you are, because I'm looking at some of the stuff you've been through. And girl, if you survive that, you can climb the Eiffel Tower in roller skates naked with a beret on without even thinking about it. Not that I'm suggesting that, but you know what I mean. I think that the thing, I'll draw a couple of cards for you, but honestly, I think, it's scary to be a person. It's scary to be a grown-up. And every morning we wake up and we just sort of make ourselves up again. But I would ask you, rather than looking at the evidence for I can't do that, or what you think is evidence for that, look at the evidence in your life about how much you have taken on and overcome. Look at the evidence. Look how great your kids are and what a good mom you've been, despite, there's been some ups and downs in your life, but you've managed to stay stable for your kids. And I really think that if you're willing to abandon self-doubt, it's like giving up smoking. It's hard at first, but it gets better. So let me grab a couple of cards here for you. Yeah, it does seem like you have been sort of off the market, or, you are going back into the world. This card is a card of somebody who, for one reason or another, has not really been participating in the world as much as she could have. But this card is not, this is not like a dead guy. This is the symbol of the way a knight used to pray before the evening before a battle. He used to pray for strength. He or she would pray for courage. Joan of Arc was a knight, so we can say he and she. So this is a very, very good card for you to get, because, and the next card means that you are going to be probably, if you get a temp job or if you do some freelance work, it's a really good way for you to get a job right now, because people like you. They just do. And they tend to root for you because you have, you have a big spirit. You have a lot of, what's an Australian word meaning gumption? You have a lot going for you. I would every day do 3 things that scare you right down to your toenails. Like make 3 calls you don't want to make, or ask 3 people if they know about a job. But I gotta say, I think if you're willing to be as brave as you actually are, and give up the self-doubt the way some people give up cigarettes, I think you're going to be really surprised. I just have a really good feeling about what's coming.
So do I. That's why the only thing I feel like I'm being held back is I don't have anyone to help me with the kids. So I've got to wait to a certain age or something. But I feel stuck. I can't move. But in my mind and my body, like I'm just ready to just like run like as fast as Kathy Freeman, and I just want to start doing things.
Well, I totally understand. I mean, I think we've all felt like that. But that feeling you have, because you're pretty intuitive. And what day is your birthday? I asked before.
August 18th.
What day is your birthday, darling?
18th.
Of what?
Of August 86.
Oh, cool. Well, as an 18 myself, in March, this is a really good year for 18s. 18s in an 18 year can pretty much, the only thing that scares us is our own, the bigness of our own possibilities. So don't listen to anybody else. Well, I mean, unless they say like something good, but if people try to talk you down or put you in like a comfortable box for their own, just listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. And the other thing I'm going to say.
That's what I've just done recently, and I'm like, I appreciate the advice and insight and stuff, but it's like I want to start taking my own insight and advice and listening, to my guts, and I want to start actually listening to myself and just, go for it, instead of looking at for
funny, right? It's easier than you thought it was, because I know I get a lot of people like, I don't know how to listen to myself. I'm like, stop making things so complicated. And I'm not yelling at you, I'm yelling at them. To you, I'm saying you have a natural gift for intuition. And you have a natural gift for a couple of things I don't think you've discovered yet. I mean, still, you may not think of it, you're still pretty young. And your kids have good health. I really do think that this is the beginning of just you being brave. Don't depend on anybody else to do it for you. And then when you just do it all yourself while accepting help, it feels really good. Rather than so many of us, I've done this too, wait around like to be discovered or for somebody to call us with a job. No, figure out what you want. You have a couple of different talents. Go out there and do it. You're actually pretty organized too. So you're a badass woman. You can do this.
Yes,
and
I know I can.
Yeah, you really can. And I have about 5 clients with August 18th birthdays, and they all went through just HECK this year. Or heck, they all had really bad times, and all of them this past week just kind of turned a corner. This isn't actually turning a corner. That's turning a corner. But they suddenly, they're all being a lot happier. The one thing I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to take the next caller, but I'm really glad you called. And I think your kids are extremely cute, too. One thing I'm going to tell you is try 2 things. If you can just take 10 minutes and just sort of breathe and listen to yourself in the morning, and also, while you're doing that, kind of just decide to be happy. It's funny. Sometimes it's that easy. And the second thing is try to have some fun. I don't think you're having enough fun. And you're a girl. When you have fun, your life just gets better. So, I mean, I don't mean fun
I know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean fun like partay. I mean, start paying attention to what feeds your soul. Actually, let me ask you a question. What do you do when you're putting off doing something else? You can answer that because I'm genuinely curious. If you're putting off doing something, do you go on Pinterest? Do you knit?
No, I do absolutely nothing.
Well, a gift for doing nothing is actually a lot rarer than you think. And that means that this is the good news. If you can do absolutely nothing, and I'm not saying lying watching the TV, I just mean just sitting there and just kind of being yourself, that's rare. And that means that you have a gift for silence and not being distracted in a very distracting, non-silent culture. So you're already telling me that you have a spiritual gift. You have the gift of silence. I'm gonna grab a couple more cards for you because a couple of them just kind of presented themselves, which means they fell out of the pack. Sometimes when I'm doing a reading, if a card really wants to let itself, it'll sort of jump out of the deck. I'm not kidding. I call them jumpers. It's been quite a week in terms of energetics. Yesterday I was doing healing with a client, and my necklace exploded. And I wasn't doing anything. We both were like, okay, well, that happened. You're very hard on yourself. Oh, no, it was, neither of us knew what to say, so we just decided to pretend it hadn't happened. But you know what? One of the reasons you were laughing in that incredibly adorable, 7-year-old happy girl way. And that 7-year-old happy girl, that's who you are. And that's your power source. That's who I need you. See, you're doing it already. That's whenever you get in touch with her, literally, when you go inside and you're that happy 7-year-old girl running around in the beach and climbing trees and, beating up the boys in your neighborhood because they looked at you funny. And so.
Oh my God.
So the first card that came up, I know it looks like a 70s pop star with a bad perm playing a trombone with a Canadian flag and blue people. What it actually is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card means that a lot of stuff over the past 6 months came up so you could get rid of it. And, you know, there are some things in our lives that, like, there are little problems in the background, and then, but they kind of hurt us. It's like having a chronic illness. There are things we've learned. Okay, so when we get rid of them, it's like tossing a drunk out of a bar, right? Right before these problems are ready to just leave your life so you can be healthy, they're like, it's like throwing a drunk out of a bar. The drunk turns right before you throw him out of the bar, and he's like, you guys don't know who I am. I'm like the mayor's grandfather's son's best. And you just go, boom, and he's out of the bar, he's gone. So the stuff that's been coming up for you so much in the last few months has been stuff that, like, got in your grill right before you pushed it out the door. I can guarantee that you are much healthier, much stronger, and ready to have fun than you used to be. And I don't mean drinking fun. I mean, like, you know, fun.
Life,
so,
like,
anyway, so briefly, the next card is you're going to get a job. So he's going to be giving you money. And then there's a reunited family, or else a family structure that comes together.